pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of minutes for October 11th.
Well, we all had a chance to read them, so I don't know if you did not, but I
No, go ahead, you can motion.
make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Second. Whoever.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes of October 11th, 2017. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. I did not read them. Motion carries. Okay, approval of bills.
So
Tim?
I know there's, most of the invoices are in the packet that's out here. But I think there's one from BFS Printing that's not here, in the packet, if I'm looking at it.
That's a $300.25 one.
Well, there's supposed to be one for $312.75. I do have a complete package, of all the invoices and the signature form, so I'll give this to you.
Okay.
But, the invoices we have tonight, and, the last page in your packet is for, OPM services, in the amount of $21,793. It's invoice 19364. We have two invoices for SMMA. Invoice number 4770 for $86,520. And invoice 47935 for $57,680. So basically that takes us through the, that was the bidding. There it is. Yeah, Amendment 6, which was for bidding. And then the other one was for, well, also for bidding. And then we have, three invoices for BFS Printing, 663507, 663606, and 663973. The first one was for $312.75, the next one was for $300.25, and the last one was $568.24. These were for printing and mailing costs for during the bidding process of sending out addenda to all the bidders who had picked up drawings and that sort of stuff. So we recommend approval of these 6 invoices.
Okay.
Move that we accept the bills as presented by Tim.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
I'll leave you this packet, which has the cover sheet, for signature and for processing for Holly. Process with the town.
Okay. Okay, next, update.
So the last time we met was the 11th of October, and we were talking about which contractor and which alternates to go with. So you guys made a recommendation to award or to recommend that the school committee award to Fontaine Brothers. School committee and the select board both been informed, and they've school committee voted to go to contract with Fontaine, so we've issued a letter of intent, notice to proceed, just to let them get some stuff together, start assembling their team. They're not mobilizing or anything yet. They're not really spending any major dollars at this point, but they're just kind of prepping to get things going. We told them that we anticipated issuing a formal contract by the 1st of December, if not sooner. So that's in the works, pulling that together. But we know the town is getting together their financing. I believe by the November 20th, there's another round of financing that will be, proposals will be submitted to the town. And then the town can choose to move forward with one of those. And at that time, we probably issue the contract, so within the next 2 weeks or so. So really, that's what's been happening. We are talking about getting a pre-construction meeting. That's where we kind of get the team together, so to speak, and just kind of go through all the front end of the spec about the kind of the rules of the game, how we're going to be doing this. You know, who's, you know, when we're going to be, how we're going to want their submittals coming in, how much time there is to review them, if there's questions, how do we want them formatted, how do we want them submitted, all that kind of stuff. Both SMMA and Colliers have worked with Fontaine on different projects, so we're familiar with them. They're familiar with us and how we do things, so that's a good thing. It should make it a pretty good, smooth transition. So one of the first things that's gonna happen as far as once they do mobilize and get going is going to be the abatement activities at the existing building. And so part of our budget, we've budgeted for it, but we hadn't contracted for the work yet, was a consultant who did the survey of the abatement of the different hazardous materials to monitor the removal, monitor who's doing the work, make sure they're licensed, make sure all their submittals are appropriate, do air testing, clearance testing once the materials have been removed, checking documentation for all the transmittals, for all the waste and where it's going, and making sure that everything is signed off appropriately. So that is what is included in the packet as amendment number 8. The amendment value is $44,545. It's well within our line item budget. The scope of services is listed there, and kind of a breakdown of the costs. Now, this proposal is up to 30 shifts at, you know, a certain amount. So if for some reason the schedule that the contractor proposed to do the work altered drastically and they required additional work to monitor those activities, then we would have to adjust this. But based on what they know and estimating what it should take, they're kind of giving us a number. But you know, at times we have to go back and revisit. But we feel pretty good about this, and so we want to get them on board, and so we need want to have you guys authorize acceptance of this amendment of number 8 for SMMA and for their subconsultant CDW. Now, there's another amendment which was not included in your package, and I don't know if you want to tackle them separately. But as you recall from our discussions about the job site or the project site, there's a significant amount of fill that had been placed there, and that all needs to come out. So we need to have a geotech engineer on site during that removal just to identify, okay, yes, you've hit native soil, that's great. This is structurally sound, or watch them put in the structural material to then build on. So there's geotechnical services, again, budgeted for. We've always budgeted for this. We knew this was coming. It's within the proposed fee is within our budget. The fee for that is $51,700, and that's for MGA.
We not have that?
You don't have it. I have a copy
have a
here that I can
copy.
give you.
If you want to
Yeah.
take a look at it.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. I noticed the way they word it, they're here on a time and expense basis, so who monitors them as far as, we just don't want somebody walking around out there aimlessly while they're moving thousands of yards of dirt, just waiting to get to the subsoil, getting to the virgin material.
Yeah, I mean, we've
I know
had
how
this
that
in the
works.
past, and how the contractor.
We're gonna call them in when we're
proposes
ready,
to
we
do
just
it,
don't want
yeah.
somebody walking around drinking a coffee knowing there's nothing to do for a week.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, what they have there, you can see, is probably a worst-case scenario
Yeah.
as far as timing to bring them out. But if we had said, done some borings, and we said, okay, you gotta go down 3 feet. So, okay, you guys go down 3 feet and then call me, and they'll come out and say, okay, no, looks like this area is good, but
Right,
these other areas
exactly,
are
no,
not
if
good."
that's the way that we'll go, then that's fine, but
Yeah, I
want
mean.
somebody just
it
remove
depends.
imported material makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it other ways where a contractor wanted a daily review. You know, they worked in a grid kind of system, and we did it that way too.
I'd
You know,
be-
it required.
Yeah, don't
the
call us, we'll call
presence-
you.
Well, it required the presence of the geotech guy on site more often. But it was, it's the contractor's site and their means and methods, and sometimes we have a incremental higher cost from a consultant
Yeah.
due to that, but it wasn't crazy, it was just
Okay.
a different way, a different approach.
Yeah, thank you, good test.
Yeah, I mean, what that covers us for too is when he's on site is, they've done some test pits and some different things, but obviously there's a lot of area that they haven't looked at, and,
Will they be monitoring the fills and the density tests as well, or is that on a separate line item? Or is-
that would most likely be our material tester who would be taking compaction,
Which is a
making sure
separate-
they're doing it in lifts.
Okay, which is a separate,
They do list it there, that they review all that stuff, but, they're not gonna be actually doing the, checking the densities. They'll review the reports. And then who we have on site would be then calling in when we know that, okay, yeah, they're gonna be doing fill on this day, then we'll make sure that the material tester is on board.
right, okay, all right.
And that's something that, maybe at our next meeting, we'll be able to bring before you the numbers that we get from, we're soliciting pricing from various material testing outfits to, they test everything from soils and
Yeah, just whatever.
asphalt and steel and construction. So in the beginning, it's really just soils that they're looking at, but they'd be here for the life of the project. And that will be, again, something we budgeted for. We know that we need to hire them. We're just waiting to get a contractor on board before we go to that level.
Okay, move that
Sounds good to me.
we accept Amendment 8 with CDW Consultants for the asbestos abatement project monitoring.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion been made and seconded, for the asbestos, abatement monitoring. CDW, any discussion on it? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. You want a motion for the Geotech,
Just a question on that. If the materials that aren't suitable for construction on, but are suitable for other uses, what happens to that soil? Say they're taking out 2 feet of loam, just out of curiosity, or, just hypothetically.
it's really the contractor's responsibility to what he wants to do as far as for placement. I would think,
Well, on this site, for instance, we don't have room to stockpile. So
Very
we're
minimal.
asking them to remove, because we can't use this as structural fill. If it was just common fill, that we knew that we had some places to put
Right.
it. But I don't think we do have any real places to put it. But if it could be reused and they don't have to truck it, then they would certainly reuse it.
they'd find a place.
They'd find.
Well, I'm just saying, if it happened, I don't know what's under
Yeah.
that ball field out there, it's growing turf right now. Marginal turf, but I'm just saying, if, it's New England soil, so there's rocks, there might be loam in there too.
It's the old leach field to the school too.
I mean,
Yeah.
if there was,
Cesspool
It's the old leach fields to the school.
oh, that's all leach
I
field
mean,
down
that's-
there?
yeah.
in the
Underneath
back,
it, underneath-
towards Watts.
Pretty much the whole backyard was leach fields,
Oh, all right.
original ones and replacement ones and.
And we have come across that on other sites where it was old farmland, and we did have 2 feet of topsoil, and it was it was in the way. It was too much of it. And who owned it, and there was discussions. But typically, it's the contractor owns.
He owns the site.
So
what's
the
there.
contractor owns the site, he owns the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless we spelled it out ahead of
Okay.
time. If we had done some borings and found that there was a significant amount and the town wanted to, had a need for it, and
Well,
said, hey, okay, we wanna keep it,
good-
but
good loan.
I don't think that's the case here.
No, okay.
Yeah. I think this was, 4 feet of fill, and I'm just hoping that, we don't come across,
It may have too many organics in it, Rick.
Too much organics, huh? Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. It's a leach field.
40 years ago.
Okay,
Oh, let's see.
so, okay, we haven't motioned that out.
I move, for, was it MGA for the,
Geotech monitoring?
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Second that?
You want that?
Okay, motion and seconded. Any other
You
discussion on
want this
that?
one?
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
You said, and that will be kinda treated as a, we'll call you kinda basis, right? With the geotech.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the beginning, I think that, as they're doing the mass removal of material, we'll have them out there. And they'll come out periodically, inspect, footing, bottom of footing type, issues, and then any kind of other areas where maybe we have a groundwater where we need to over excavate and then put some stone back in.
Yeah,
some
they're gonna wanna make sure they
structural-
get it all out, sure, and make sure we're not dealing with frozen material.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I know it's a little bit out of the realm, but does, in the contract, at what point do they take the playground out and get that into safe storage before winter comes? Or
I would
is that
imagine
kind of
they'll do
on a-
that early. As soon as their site guy mobilizes, and then, I'm not sure who's gonna be doing that removal.
Does the town have a place for that? Was that worked out before?
We don't have a place.
So the contract is, it's up to them to store
They're
it
storing it.
properly and, okay,
Yep, it's
they've
owned
already
in the
made.
spec that they remove it and store it.
Okay, all
Yep.
right, I just couldn't remember what the detail was, so, okay, all right. Okay, you assume they're gonna need the space anyway, so, working around it. And, the parking, I know we had talked about, because there's gonna be a lot of contractors on site.
Yes.
Did the town or the contractor, did anybody, did we ever, I know we talked about it, but did anybody secure like off-site parking, or was it just, is it gonna be a free-for-all up there, uncontrollable, or were they?
Well, they have to be on the site.
What's that? They have to be on the site?
Right.
Okay.
Um,
So they have to make their own provisions to find off-street parking and
Yes.
carpooling, it's up to them, their dime, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we are gonna coordinate with the police department about the back
Well,
half of that lot.
right.
And,
We're just getting so close right now, because that's what's gonna happen first, so just,
yeah, and so that
Refresh our
site
memories.
fence will start to go up, and then they'll have to be within the fence.
okay, all right.
But in the beginning, we're just talking, a relatively small group.
Right, until you actually get the building, the tradesmen in there, as
Yeah,
far as for the building
exactly.
itself.
So really in the spring, once the steel is up and you're doing concrete work or those types of things, where you get a bigger crew.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first 3 months will be, the winter months will be kind of a smaller crew. So just to get back to these amendments, the versions I have, Jen, aren't signed by Joel.
Oh, okay. I mean, I have the cover page that is usually. Oh, you mean the
Yeah, the amendment.
The amendment,
the-
okay.
But we just need to get those.
I'll have them do
Executed.
it. Yep.
So what we can do is, we'll get one that's signed by Joel,
Okay.
and we'll forward them to Chris, for, owner execution based on tonight's approval, and,
Which will go through the school committee.
School committee.
So that was actually a question. It'll go through the vote, through the school committee, correct?
well, no,
Or just execution?
it just needs to be
That's what I
executed.
thought,
This
okay.
committee has now voted on it.
Right, right.
So it's just signature at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, design team update.
Yes, we
Take
don't
it
have
away.
a whole lot, but we have, been in touch with Fontaine and their project manager, and they're actually coming to our office on Wednesday to pick up all the permit documents.
Okay,
So they've, already filled out the permit application, so they'll probably submit that to Mr. Hanks I don't know if it'll be later this week or next week, but, so we'll start that process. And as Tim said, we're, having a pre-construction meeting, and we're also have drafted up the A101, which is the contract between the owner and the contractor. And, we'll be getting that to Tim for review, and I think we recommend, because I think when we did it originally, Carter had the town council review it.
Yeah.
So we would probably just recommend that they look at that,
Yeah.
before we send it to Fontaine and get it all, executed. So that's it for design team updates at this point.
Okay.
Short and sweet, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, John.
So just the last thing would then be just about new business. I mean, this meeting we called just to get these amendments through, because we're anticipating that early December, if not sooner, the Fontaine would be mobilizing. But we had talked about that first Tuesday of the month at the next meeting, so that would be December 5th.
Right.
I'm not sure what we'll have to bring before you.
If we don't have enough, we'll just cancel it and just,
And
because we
go
can
and
reschedule.
Or reschedule during
It's
the
just,
month.
it's not a public hearing, just a meeting, so we can, you only need
Yep.
48 hours to post, so. So
Yeah,
we'll leave it on the docket and just reach out to, I guess would be Chris, reach out to Sue, I guess, right, as
Yeah.
far as for that?
We have it already on the calendar, obviously, but we'll,
Reach out to Sue if it needs to be canceled, we'll just cancel it, we don't even have to reschedule, we'll just cancel it if that's the case.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that we get in a rhythm of having it the same.
Right, that's what you said, Tuesdays, first and third,
Just
and
because
whatever.
it makes it where it's in people's calendars and we're sure to get a quorum, and that way we're sure to be able to be giving you information on a regular basis so that it doesn't go too long where you haven't been hearing what's going on.
Okay. Any other new business, anybody, the members or anybody?
I want to apologize for being late. I had another meeting that went very late up at the school.
Don't let it happen again,
I will not.
unexcusable.
Sorry.
I was in here 10 minutes late too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I
all
was
sit-
the quorum maker.
We were all sitting here trying to get a hold of Kirk, and
Yeah.
finally he showed
Well,
up.
I texted Diane, because I had her number come up first on my phone, I'm like, I'm running, I'll be there in 5 minutes, and she texted back and walked out the door, I'm not going. I'm like, well, so much for that message. Okay,
I have an update.
oh, Al, good?
Yes.
I have removed the time capsule from the playground.
Oh, okay.
I have that, so, we won't lose that when you are ready to dismantle the playground.
Very good.
I'm also working with Peter Glick on some of the, road improvements, just, minor things that we had talked about.
The last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, we're moving that forward and working with that. And that's, we held the tree hearing, had that done, so.
oh, for the trees on South.
On
Okay.
site, so I think we're good to go.
Very good.
And the trees are contractor's responsibility?
Yes.
Okay, that's in their contract, okay, all right. Anybody got anything else?
Move to adjourn.
No? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn? All in
Motion
favor?
adjourned.
We're done.
Did you see that
Thank you.
house on the corner where they were